Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about the shorter version of This Is Fate. Preeta disguised himself and entered the literal house again. That is 5 years after he was thrown out of the house. So let's continue from there. During Preeta and Rishabh's wedding anniversary party, Arjun was sitting with Mahesh and the literal women and he was laughing and talking with them. Anjali sees that and she was confused. Arjun says that he is happy coming to the party, and Mahesh says that this is how the Lutra's parties are, and everyone that comes to their party must always be happy. Arjun says that everyone is good, but Mahesh is a grumpy man. But why did Raki get married to Mahesh when Raki would have been married to a better man than Mahesh? Grandma and Karina laughs, saying that Arjun is right, and Arjun quickly leaves from there before Mahesh would scold him. Arjun working thinks that he has to control his feelings around his family because his identity must remain a secret. Raki sees Arjun and she tells Arjun that she has already warned Rishabh not to misbehave with him anymore, so he doesn't need to worry. Raki tells Arjun that Kavya is just like him because Kavya also likes it when they scold Rishabh for her. Arjun smiles and says that Kavya is really sweet. Preeta is working and she comes to Rishabh. Rishabh tells Preeta that everybody made all this effort for them to celebrate their wedding anniversary, so he has also made a plan for everyone as well. Rishabh asks for a moment from everyone and he asks everyone to come to the dance floor. Everyone begins to dance and later, Preeta collides with Arjun on the dance floor and Arjun begins to dance with Preeta. Preeta doesn't want to dance with Arjun, but Arjun refuses to let Preeta go. Arjun begins to dance with Preeta just like Karan usually dances with Preeta, and Preeta begins to remember a dancing moment with Karan. Preeta couldn't take it anymore, so she leaves from there and she goes upstairs while crying. Shriti noticed that and she wondered what is going on. Raja and his men goes to the kitchen and Raja says that Arjun called him saying that he had a job for them and he directed Arjun to Vishu. Then Arjun gave them the contract to kill Rishabh. But then, he got angry after Rishabh was hurt and he refused to pay them their balance, which is why they are here. Raja says that now Rishabh invited Arjun to his wedding anniversary party and it looks like Arjun and Rishabh are brothers. Vishu remembered when Arjun was beating him at the hospital, saying that he would not spare him if anything happens to his brother, and the flashback ends. Vishu tells Raja that Raja is right and Arjun is truly Rishabh's brother, and Raja thinks that what is going on and why is a brother trying to kill the other brother. Preeta, after leaving the party, walks to the corridor and she begins to cry. Preeta thinks that her dance with Arjun reminds her of every dances that she had with Karan, and she wondered why Arjun and Karan seems to be the same person, and she begins to cry. As Preeta is crying and rushing to her room, she collides with Prithvi and she leaves from there saying sorry without looking at the person's face. Prithvi, who is in disguise, notices that Preeta is crying and he thanks God for making Preeta cry. Prithvi thinks that he came back to the literal house in disguise to make Preeta and Rishabh cry, but now God has shown him that he is always by his side because Preeta is already crying even before his arrival. Just then, Prithvi bumps into Shriti, who was following Preeta, and Prithvi begins to look at Shriti from head to toe. Prithvi noticed vermilion on Shriti's forehead, which indicates that Shriti is already married, and Prithvi is shocked. Shriti, who did not recognize the man as Prithvi because of the fake beard and mustache, begins to scold him for staring at her, and she leaves from there, saying that the man should stop looking at her like that because she is already married. Prithvi tells himself that even after 5 years, Shriti did not change at all, and she is still the same talkative, who can make someone's ears bleed because of her stupid talks. Prithvi paused for a moment and he asks himself that whom did Shriti get married to? Later, Prithvi says that Shriti's husband is really unlucky for getting married to a girl like Shriti, and he is sending his condolences to the unlucky man in advance. Prithvi wonders who made Preeta cry because he is the only one who can make the Lutras cry, so who has taken his position in the Lutra house after he was thrown out of the house, so he must definitely find out who Preeta's new enemy is. On the other hand, Preeta enters her room and she cries, recalling how she danced with Arjun and also how it was the same dance she danced with Karan. Shriti comes there. Preeta wipes her tears and she pretends, saying that she came inside to drink water. Shruti asks Preeta not to hide her emotions from her because she knows that she left the party crying. Shruti asks Preeta if Arjun did something to her or if Arjun says something that made her start crying. Preeta continued to cry and she tells Shruti that she is crying because she feels Karan's presence whenever Arjun is around her. Preeta cries, saying that she is missing Karan so much. Arjun is at the window listening to their conversation. Preeta says that she wished that Karan would come in front of her and call her as a dumb doctor or a silly girl. Arjun was repeating the words just as Preeta would say it, and Arjun thinks that Preeta did not miss Karan, and Preeta is only crying because she is feeling guilty and ashamed of herself for killing Karan. Anjali comes there and she takes Arjun away from there. Preeta tells Shruti that she wants to stay alone for some time, so Shruti should go. Shruti asks Preeta to promise her that she will not cry once she leaves from there, but Preeta asks Shruti to let her cry for 5 minutes, and after that, she will not cry again, and Shruti leaves the room, and she tells Preeta that she would come back after 5 minutes. Anjali takes Arjun to a room and she asks Arjun that what was he doing standing outside Preeta's room. Arjun says that he was just there watching how Preeta is crying. Anjali says that she can see that Arjun still has feelings for Preeta and his emotions have started controlling his mind. Arjun tells Anjali that she is misunderstanding him because what he is feeling for Preeta is hatred and not love. Arjun tells Anjali that he felt good seeing Preeta crying and all he wants to give to Preeta is pain. Anjali says that Arjun is lying to her because she saw Arjun when he was dancing with Preeta and she saw that Arjun was dancing with Preeta as Karan and not as Arjun, and she saw love for Preeta in Arjun's eyes, so she is sure that Arjun is lying to her now. Arjun couldn't say anything again and he leaves from the room angrily. Shruti returns to Preeta's room and she tells Preeta that she can understand that Preeta is not able to forget Karan, and she noticed that Preeta is behaving weird with Arjun, but Arjun has not done anything wrong to Preeta, so why is Preeta taking out her anger on Arjun? Shruti says that Arjun reminds her about Karan as well, but that doesn't mean that Arjun is Karan. Beeji comes there and tells Shruti that Samru is calling her downstairs. Shruti refused to go, saying that if Samru wants to see her, then he should come to her. Beeji forces Shruti to go downstairs, saying that she wants to see Preeta in private, but Shruti tells Beeji that she will not leave without knowing what Beeji wants to talk to Preeta about. Beeji tells Shruti that she broke up with her boyfriend, and Shruti was shocked. Shruti asks Beeji that who is her boyfriend that she broke up with. Beeji tells Shruti that she cannot tell Shruti the full details, but she will tell her later, so Shruti should leave first because Samru is waiting for her downstairs and Shruti leaves the room. Beeji asks Preeta to sit beside her and Preeta asks that is it true that Beeji has a boyfriend. Beeji smiles and says that is Preeta also believing what she told Shruti and she only said that so that Shruti can leave the room. Beeji asks Preeta that why is she sad and why did she leave the party all of a sudden. Preeta cries and tells Beeji that she is missing Karan so much. Preeta rests her head on Beeji's lap and Beeji tells Preeta that she understands that Preeta loved Karan with her whole life and nobody is asking Preeta not to miss Karan, but Preeta should stop hurting the people around her just because she is missing her dead husband. Beeji tells Preeta that Rishabh is her husband now and Rishabh sacrificed his own happiness just to make Preeta happy, so Preeta should not let Rishabh's sacrifice go in vain. Beeji asks Preeta to respect her relationship with Rishabh and Preeta should not hurt Rishabh's feeling by crying all the time when she should be happy. Beeji tells Preeta that everyone are busy asking Rishabh that where is Preeta, and do Preeta know how hurtful it will be for Rishabh looking around and not seeing his wife beside him on their wedding anniversary. Preeta stands up and she wipes her tears thinking about what Beeji says, and Beeji asks Preeta to go downstairs and join everyone at the party, so Preeta and Beeji leaves the room. In all this mess, my innocent Rishabh is the one suffering the most and I really feel for that guy. Anyways, thank you so much guys for watching and I will see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.